Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, I'm continuing to review Disney stuff in my Disney movie marathon. I'll be reviewing the single disc Blu Ray for Princess and the Frog, which was released in 2009. You can digitally download this film into the computer or any phone devices if I wish to. But I'm just going to be reviewing the Blu Ray version of this film because Disney, I guess. Yeah, I watched this in my numerous places I would live at, folks. Oh boy. So yeah, as always, let's get into the plot, shall we? Yeah. Our main character, we get to see her when she's really young, and of course, she's an aspiring cook, so to speak. Because let's just say it's kind of like a family business, so to speak. So of course, when she gets a lot older, we fast forward some time. We get to see that she really starts this business, of course, when she has a chance. She treats her mother really well, of course. And things are really booming, so to speak, of course. And of course, one of her best friends in the entire world comes in and visits her from one time with her rich daddy. And so yeah, she still needs some money, of course, and whatnot. But the thing is, I feel in retrospect, I kind of feel like this was in some ways a needless setup because this particular spot of the story has nothing to do with the rest of the story. Anyway, when I say best friend, I mean really best friends. They know each other for quite a while. I mean, long time, like childhood friends. That's one way to make the viewer care for the characters. But again, I kind of feel like, why was this inserted? This has nothing to do with the rest of the film. Her friend doesn't really do anything. Because I feel this friend of hers is just there simply to move the plot along. That's it. Case in point, like I said before, our main character needs some extra help for her business because it might go down under. And during one party, our main character hears about that. There's a thing going on that may give us some extra money. But it doesn't go that way, of course. I just felt like the one friend character was introduced to this scene just so our main character can have a bad sequence and lead to the whole fraud thing. So, yeah. And we forget about the one thing earlier. And this one frog can talk. He's talking about kissing, of course. So this is like the primary focus, the pinpoint of the story, so to speak, when things really start to get going, so to speak. They go on the balcony, and yeah, this will be the last time you're gonna see her in the blue dress, just so you know. So she's not in this dress that often, really. Of course, they kiss, and then there's this villain of the character, and of course, like typical Disney villains, he's despicable, of course, and of course he has to be despicable. He's the bad guy. Basically, she spends the rest of the film in the form of a frog. So, yeah. So our main character has been transformed into a frog. So this particular spell needs to be reversed. So these two characters set out to find this magical priest, so to speak, in order to set everything right, to be more probable about everything. That's basically the nutshell of the story. In some ways, I kind of feel like that this cover is misleading. It's very misleading in some ways because she's not in that blue dress very often. Very briefly, I guess you can say. As I was saying, she spends a good chunk of the film, majority of it, in the form of a frog. So that's a bit disappointing. This film will be presented in high definition quality, of course. And so the HD is really high up there, folks. And there's also the widescreen format as well. The English audio will have pretty much just English, along with Spanish, French, along with English subtitles, Spanish subtitles, or even the French subtitles if you want that. There's some deleted scenes here, the making of a princess, conjuring the villain, the return to hand-drawn animation, because this was one of the first hand-drawn animation films in a long time. There was a Disney legacy, bringing life to animation, art galleries, music video, and the princess little mini game here, and a few other things. So the packaging is actually pretty good. It's a real packaged film, so that's definitely think this was a good buy. And yeah, there's quite a few special features, so that's a good thing there. I kind of felt that this film had potential to be better than what it was. I mean, it's not a bad movie, but still could have felt flat. And yeah, like I said, we see the friend character here. They're trying to make her seem like some important character for some reason. It's the best friend's father, and then we get to see the mother character, and then we go see her again for some reason. I don't know why. Especially considering that we see the frog character, that main character spends most of the time with, and then we get to see this bug character as well. He's supposed to be like a somewhat of a important character, I guess. I don't know, something. And there's this character, this adult animal character that shows up for brief moments here and there, singing some music and whatnot. And of course, we get to see this lady for a good minute or two right here, of course, with the snake. So that's the thing. We keep seeing quite a few characters popping in and out throughout the entire film. And then we get to see the villain character do some magical evil stuff because he's the bad guy, I guess. So yeah, I like that a lot more than the good dinosaur. I tell you that right now, which wasn't particularly good, if you ask me. Because at least with this film, it attempted to do something. It kind of failed at it, but at least there was an attempt here. I mean, I didn't hate the movie really, but I just didn't think it was all that great after all. There are some well-known people voice acting some of the characters in this film, so that's something, I guess. I love diversity, I support diversity, I'm all for that, but what I'm saying here is that don't let that be the only good thing about your movies. All I'm saying right here. This film did get some news coverage when it was first released, claiming that this was the very first black princess that Disney has ever made. But they made a Mexican princess. No one really talks about that, really. So what's going on here? This doesn't really make any sense. They ignore this. I mean, unless they want to talk about Hispanics committing crimes on news, you have to bring that up. Which seems awfully hypocritical if you ask me, but whatever, I guess. I don't know anymore. I don't know, just whatever. Whatever. So, I'm not saying this is a bad movie, really, folks. I just felt it could have been much better than what was delivered. And it's a bit overrated. Yes, it's a bit overrated if you ask me. But I didn't hate the movie, as I mentioned before. I just felt it could have been more improved upon. There's some nice music here, folks, I guess. Some of the musical numbers are pretty okay, I guess. Feel kind of flat, but whatever, I suppose. The animation is quite nice, like you might expect from Disney, so that's nothing new there. So anyway, folks, Princess and the Frog, even if he has good packaging in it, it gets an overall rating of a 6.0 out of 10. It gets a 6.0 out of 10. It barely makes it above okay, but just barely. Very barely above okay, I guess. As always, thanks for watching.